Now at 5, federal charges are filed against 3 people in connection with the Kansas City rally shooting. Plus, how a fundraiser selling coins aims to help students with special needs. And
the House passes a bill that could ban TikTok for U.S. users. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill with the demand from lawmakers as the measure's fate now rests with the Senate.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Federal prosecutors are charging 3 Kansas City men with firearms charges related to the Chiefs Victory Rally shooting. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Kansas City says 22-year-old Fido Manning faces 12 counts, 21-year-old Ronell Williams Jr. and 19-year-old Shaylin Groves face 4 counts. All 3 have been arrested. Court documents say they were some of the 12 people who pulled out firearms during the rally. At least 6 people fired their weapons. Now let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, of course, it's turned out to be a very warm, very windy day for us today. Look at our temperatures shooting all the way up into the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And we do have a threat for a few more thunderstorms once again as we go through the evening hours. But the strong southerly winds continue to kick in across the region. And here's our severe threats. Just a level 1 out of 5 this evening for an isolated storm or 2. But look at this. Tomorrow, much higher chance, especially as you get along and south of Interstate 44. And we are going to have chances for all modes of severe weather by the time we head into Thursday afternoon. Not much going on out there for us right now, so we are nice and calm. As we go through the evening hours, an isolated storm is possible, but a bigger threat tomorrow. So we're going to be talking more about that here in just a little bit.
See you soon. Homelessness is on the rise across the U.S. and right here in the 4 states. Before housing even becomes an option, you first need to have the desire to get off the streets, and that often means having the right person in your corner.
I don't know who you are, but I'm a recovered addict, bro, and I was just wondering if you wanted to talk about recovery for a second.
Tonight on KOAM News at 6, we're going to meet a Pittsburgh man who's lived life on both sides of the tracks and has now made it his mission to share his story with other addicts. Challenge coins can be traced back to the time of the Romans. Well, now they're used more as collector's items, and the police chief of Yates Center, Kansas, has created some to help raise money and awareness of people with special needs. The coins are on sale for $10 a pop and will go toward purchasing sensory toys and other devices designed to help kids who need them.
A lot of young children are being diagnosed, and it is still something that not a lot is known about as far as out in the public. We all know cancer is bad. We all know about a lot of different types of illnesses, but autism is a mental disease that a lot of people don't know about and are scared to learn about. So I'm trying to help push some of the awareness and let them know that it's okay to be different.
If you're interested in buying one of the coins, you can get information to do so on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. More on this story at 6. Lawmakers have taken the first step toward potentially banning TikTok in the U.S. But the bill is not law yet, and TikTok influencers have descended on Washington, D.C. to try to convince them to keep the platform. Skyler Henry has more details from Capitol Hill.
Keep TikTok! Keep TikTok!
TikTok influencers protested outside the White House Wednesday, urging the president not to sign a bill banning the social media platform. They say the app is about more than just dancing.
Our representatives tell us all we know how to do is dance. If you want us, we're advocates for educators, we inspire, but if you want us to dance, we'll dance.
JT Laybourne from Utah makes a living on TikTok selling apparel.
It is 90+% of my family's income.
But he may soon be forced to find a new way to do business after the House voted to ban the platform in the U.S. unless there's an ownership change.
The yeas are 352, the nays are 65.
The bill passed overwhelmingly amid concerns TikTok's parent company, the Chinese-owned ByteDance, could pose a national security threat.
Americans need to ask themselves whether they want to give the Chinese government the ability to control access to their data.
A very divided House came together behind this bill, but its fate in the Senate remains unclear. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has not said whether he'll bring the bill to the floor for a vote.
I'll have to consult and intend to consult with my relevant committee chairman to see what their views would be.
President Biden has said he would sign the bill, while former President Trump, who once called for a TikTok ban, has spoken out against the legislation. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Trump said on social media that banning TikTok could provide a bigger platform to Facebook, which he opposes after it previously banned him. But his change also came after a meeting with GOP megadonor Jeff Yass, a major investor in TikTok. The police chief of Uvalde, Texas, has resigned. Comes less than a week after a report commissioned by the city declared police officers should not be blamed in the 2022 school shooting that killed 19 children and 2 teachers. The announcement also came hours before Chief Daniel Rodriguez was expected to speak before the victims' families at a city council meeting. An anti-terrorism team of U.S. Marines has just been sent to Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, to help protect the U.S. embassy there. Heavily armed gangs control much of the city, and there's been a political vacuum after the country's prime minister said he will resign. At the border, many Haitians are trying to flee, while the Dominican Republic is deporting truckloads of Haitians. Still ahead, new tech helping us navigate old age.
Virtual reality is giving a real-world boost to older Americans. I'm Bradley Blackburn with new data on how high-tech tools can help fight loneliness and improve mood.
Plus, new research on how the risk for skin cancer increases as we age. Topping today's Health Watch, we're learning more about how aging skin puts people at higher risk for cancer. Johns Hopkins researchers say when we age, our skin stiffens, becomes less elastic. That leads to the release of a protein that can cause tumors to grow and spread. 200,000 Americans are expected to be diagnosed with melanoma this year. A new tool is helping older Americans improve their well-being and feel less isolated. Reporter Bradley Blackburn shows us the benefits of virtual reality.
I'm in the cockpit now of the plane, huh?
A little virtual reality is having positive effects in the real lives of older Americans.
It brought back memories of my travels. In others, it brought back memories of my experience growing up on a farm.
17 senior communities around the country participated in the Stanford University study, spending short bursts of time in virtual reality. Nearly 80% of participants felt more positive, and about 60% said they felt less isolated. 83% said it was beneficial to their relationship with caregivers.
You could be with a bunch of animals, you could be in Paris, you can be in a crowded orchestra.
Professor Jeremy Bailenson is a co-author.
What we found is that the magic of experience VR, how happy it makes people, just the novelty of these experiences, it improves people's mood, it gives them something to talk about.
The study also showed that compared to other technology like cell phones, seniors preferred virtual reality as a more natural medium.
Stimulated virtually every area of my brain, all the senses.
One thing it's not meant to do is replace actual human interaction.
We still need to think about the challenges of loneliness, and we still need to focus on interacting with our families. What VR does is it just gives you a spark, gives you something special to be excited about.
Researchers are also investigating how the technology can be used for balance training.
I enjoyed that. Thank you.
Seniors embracing the technology say they can't wait to see what comes next. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Mind Immersive Systems, which makes the technology, says it's worked on the biggest complaints from the study, that the headsets are too heavy, they made users' foreheads sweaty, and sometimes the users experienced nausea. A serious bacterial illness is on the rise, and doctors say it might be coming from an unusual source, cleaner air. Cleaner air. Researchers at the University of Albany linked a decrease in air pollution to an increase in cases of Legionnaire's disease, which is often spread by water droplets and vapor. Scientists say sulfur dioxide in air pollution may have helped kill off the bacteria. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to tell you how to prepare for springtime allergies.
And we have some springtime thunderstorm chances over the next 2 days. Details coming up. Well, of course, it's turned out to be a very warm and very windy day for us once again today. High temps mainly upper 70s to near 80 degrees. Looks pretty good right now. Here's a nice shot. This is our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort Tower Cam. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. We did get that one random thunderstorm last night that dropped very large hail, and we do have a thunderstorm threat again over the next 2 days. So let's look at tonight first. Level 1 out of 5. Most of the severe weather is going to stay to our north, but we could get a random isolated guy, maybe 8, 9 o'clock till about midnight. Main threat here would be hail, but I'm going to keep all the threats on the low side for now, and then we'll get a higher threat once we get into tomorrow. But we look fine right now, mostly sunny skies, but we are watching for an isolated thunderstorm or two trying to pop up as we go through the evening hours. But in general, we are looking pretty good. Thunderstorms developing central, eastern parts of Missouri. Again, that's where most of the severe weather is going to be confined as we go into the evening and the overnight hours for us tonight. Let me take you through time. Next few hours, here's 8 p.m., still looking pretty good, but you can see an isolated guy trying to pop up, rotate through, very similar to what we did see last night. A couple thunderstorms late tonight in our northern counties, but majority of you will stay dry as we go through the evening hours for us tonight. Tomorrow, a little different situation. All right, upper 70s to near 80. It looks good outside. Of course, it's warm. South winds at 18. But look at those gusts, upwards of about 30 miles per hour. So these strong southerly winds, and these are going to stick around through the evening into the overnight hours for us tonight. This storm system, upper level low, kicking out into the central plains. You can see it out across southern parts of California, and that's what's firing off those chances for severe weather. All right, level 3 out of 5. Southeastern counties tomorrow through the metro, level 2 out of 5, level 1 out of 5 once you get into southeastern Kansas. Main timing earlier, 1 p.m. until 10 p.m., and we're going to elevate all modes of severe weather, especially long and south of I-44 for us tomorrow. All right, so to recap, isolated guy trying to work through tonight, few thunderstorms late, northern counties, most of tomorrow looks pretty good. And then once we get into the early afternoon, scattered thunderstorms along and south of I-44, and those will most likely go severe. Scattered thunderstorms work east, and then once we get into the evening along the front, another line of storms will fire and then push off toward the south into the east. And it looks like by midnight, most of these storms will be gone. We're going to have some clouds to start Friday, and it's going to be a cooler day on Friday. High temps only right around upper 50s. For afternoon highs. All right, rain potential. Of course, we got to see where storms set up. The greater chances for beneficial rain are mainly going to be along and south of the I-44 corridor. All right, for you tomorrow, 79. Of course, pay attention as we do have that severe threat. 58 on Friday, back into the 60s over the weekend. So we're going to get a really nice weekend. We do cool down on Monday, and then we'll go back up with thunderstorm chances once again by the middle of next week.
Wow, wide variations in temperatures and from sun to storms and everything in between over the next week.
It's March.
There you go. Thanks, Doug. Hey, technology and water don't usually mix, but we're going to learn about robots making waves in underwater research coming up. Topping today's Consumer Watch, Babies R Us is bouncing back nearly 7 years after its former parent company, Toys R Us, filed for bankruptcy. Starting this summer, the new Babies R Us will be opening shops inside about 200 Kohl's stores across the country. Kohl's says customers will also be able to register and shop for an assortment of baby products online. The move is part of Kohl's push to get younger shoppers into its stores. Family Dollar and Dollar Tree are set to close nearly 1,000 stores. Family Dollar will close 600 stores in the first half of this year and at least 370 more over the next several years as store leases expire. Parent company Dollar Tree said it'll close 30 stores as leases expire. This year, the struggling discount chain was hit with a record $41.5 million fine for violating product safety standards. Robots aren't just active on land, they're taking over the seas too. But creators say the dominant devices aren't out to steal jobs on the water. In fact, they might produce more. Tina Kraus reports.
They're small but sophisticated. Electric robots making new waves in the world of ocean technology.
Collecting data from the seafloor underwater and stitching that together with GPS mapping so that we can see what the seafloor looks like.
Robotic vehicles are everywhere you turn at this week's Oceanology International Conference in London, as the autonomous machines steer the industry in a new direction. But creators say the idea that water robots will take jobs away from people is science fiction.
Robots aren't going to take our jobs. Robots are creating more jobs, more ways to collect data, more ways to work in the ocean.
Experts say as robots get smaller and more affordable, they'll provide more eyes in the ocean, helping with environmental mapping and new construction projects while also looking after the planet.
We have made more progress in our understanding of the ocean and in our understanding of climate change and how it impacts the ocean really in the last 2 years than we've probably made the last 2 decades.
As robots command more attention on the water, engineers say working hand in hand is key.
They're going to give us ways of doing things that we could never do on our own.
A partnership tech experts believe will keep the marine industry afloat. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Many of the underwater robots on display across the pond deliver wireless data streaming so operators on land can get instant eyes on what's happening below the surface. Our Pet Vet on Call up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, the ripple effects a major healthcare cyber attack is having on patients. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to hear more from a Pittsburgh man helping homeless people battle addiction. Plus, how a broken elevator in a Pittsburgh apartment complex is making life difficult for disabled residents. And a McDonald County High School football standout signs to continue his career at the college level. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Spring officially arrives next week, but of course the buds, the blossoms are already making an appearance in the 4 states, and we're going to see a lot more in the coming weeks. Today's question for our Pet Vet on Call: what are some spring allergy concerns for pets?
Well, the biggest concern is obviously catch it early and prevent the misery that allergies cause. Unlike humans, pet allergies are topical. So by bathing them frequently, wiping them every time they come inside, maybe a few Benadryl or antihistamines will help prevent these issues. But you do want to start before they lose their hair and scratch themselves to scabby sores. So sometimes it takes an allergy shot from your veterinarian. If you think your dog's allergic, see your vet.
And we invite questions from anyone, anytime. If you have a question, all you have to do is send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or sometimes brings us a fun fact every Wednesday right here, KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. All right, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week, both of them from the Joplin Humane Society. First up, we have Ziva. The shelter says she's a 1 to 2 year old black Labrador retriever with a high energy level. And then we have Pouches, an adult male short-haired cat. Look at Pouches there. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? Lots of great ones at your local Humane Society. Check there first. The weather going to be pretty volatile ahead, perhaps.
Yeah, we may get an isolated storm or two a little bit later on this evening. So we'll keep our eyes on that, but a much better chance for thunderstorms, especially along and south of the I-44 corridor for Thursday afternoon. So we are going to make that an alert day. I'll put a little banner up on our 10-day here. And then we cool down, start to dry out as we head into Friday, and then the weekend back into the 60s, sunny skies. Looks pretty good.
Yes, it does. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.